I want the people that's listening to understand this, right? You have to be selfish with your time.
Mm.
Because if you're not selfish, you will drive yourself crazy trying to make everybody else happy. I couldn't tell you how many times there's been that I've been in situations where people thought that, oh, I was being too selfish. But if I'm not selfish, then what am I going to get done? Like think about it. If you, with your brand, if you weren't selfish with your time, bro, would you have really got it done?
So my guest today is a former college basketball player, an entrepreneur, a podcast host, and fellow fitness frenzy physique, everything and anything you want to talk about that. He's got it on lockdown. And I was pleasured enough to be a guest on his podcast. So it was only right that we redid it. We reconnected, rekindled, and got him on here for him to talk about everything he's got going on. So I'm excited to have him on there. Mr. Quinn Mitchell III. Or the
Yes,
second,
sir.
sorry. The second, my bad.
You good, my bro? How everything with you? I appreciate you for inviting me on the show.
Of course, man. I'm excited to have you on here. And it's funny how we've even, gotten involved in each other's worlds and become, acquaintances and friends and people that are, I personally, I'm always keeping an eye on, what you got going on, what you're posting, especially your story, your
Yes, sir.
workouts. They fuel me. They fuel my fire, bro. So I hope I can return and do the same for you.
Hey, I appreciate it 100%.
Yeah. And it's right. And we came to knowing each other through Panther,
My
who's,
mutual friend, yeah. So
yeah.
that story is actually crazy because the first time we ever met, bro, I think it was in Rhode Island, right? And we had worked out at that park. And
Yep.
literally, you would think working out at a park, you just think it was some ordinary pull-ups, sit-ups, stuff like that. But Dylan, he really had like another mastermind of training, and it was just focusing on breathing while you're working out. And that's something that I really took into effect that following season, which was my breakout year, my junior year of college.
Hmm.
Just mastering how to breathe, mastering controlling my emotions, and how to put myself in a zone where you literally are one within yourself, which something I really took from your workouts, which is very beneficial, which I appreciate a lot.
Dope, man. I'm so glad that helped, bro. And it was just me, you, and Panther. Me and Panther had talked about linking up, doing workouts together.
Mhm.
And then he was like, yo, you mind if I bring my boy? I was like, nah, of course not. Let's hit it up. So we went to Brown Street in Providence, which
Mhm.
a lot of my people following this will definitely know about. That's one of them spots like everybody improv knows about. So it's funny, y'all drove what, like an hour and a half,
Yeah,
2 hours?
that was like hour 45. Yep.
Yeah. Just to come work out. And I'm glad it wasn't a waste of time. And
Yes, sir.
clearly it's gone other places. I mean, Panther's been on the podcast twice.
Mhm.
Um, I was on your podcast. Now you're on mine. And it's funny that we're all just in this same, tornado of
Yes,
just
sir.
helping each other out, improving, whether it's nutrition wise, fitness wise.
Mhm.
Um, and we had the connection, unlike Panther, of basketball, right?
Mhm.
So, um,
And I just want you to speak on that, bro, because even for your people that's listening, it's like I just want you to take time out to speak on that breathing part because I know you shared it on my podcast, but just how important of knowing to getting yourself into that zone is because it, to be honest, bro, I used to literally implement it 30 minutes before my game, like 30 minutes before tip off. I would go in the locker room, let's sit there and just literally just practice breathing. And I would literally become one. Like I wouldn't feel anything once the tip off started. It's crazy.
yeah. You get in that zone, bro. It really is. You're locked in. There's nothing else that can throw off your vibration, right? You're so tuned into the vibration, and whether it's the heartbeat, right, which is, I always talk about it, is that's who we are outside of radio waves and microwaves and sound waves, right? And sonar, all of these things, our aura, our vibration, our soul vibrates based on that heartbeat. So when you get in tune with that, nothing else can get in the way. And I'll dive into that breathing part. So and I tell this, I'm literally preaching this every day to clients, right? So when we are living day-to-day life, we have a sense of survival, right? Our goal is to survive and reproduce as humans. Our nervous system is wired for those two things. First, you have to survive, then you can reproduce. So your nervous system is wired into everything around you through the five senses, the sixth one being that understanding and feeling of the heartbeat and others around you. And when you have the ability to tap into your nervous system through understanding what the hierarchy of survival is, then you can tune into your entire nervous system and be in control of it. And the nervous system starts up here and literally shoots down to the end of your toes, to the end of your fingertips. The most sensory, heavy spots are your fingertips, your toes, and then our reproductive organs for that specific case, right? Or specific reason. So the hierarchy of needs for surviving is anything that is acute injury. If I always say, Quinn, if your nose was itchy, right, you'd be like, damn, bro, that shit's annoying. But if I shot you in the foot, you would not feel your nose. You wouldn't care about your nose being itchy. That acute injury takes precedent. Your nervous system pays attention to that and that only, right?
Mm-hmm.
Outside of acute injury, you have three basic needs. You need oxygen, you need water, and then you need food, right? So those are your three things. When you can get tuned in to your nervous system through breathing is when you can tune in and regulate your nervous system and get it out of that fight or flight mode and into rest and digest. And that ability to control the difference is the same ability that people fast from food. The ability to change from carbohydrate driven to fat driven, right? One is slow and methodical and more efficient. One is rapid, constantly going, glycolysis, and the creatine phosphate system, having sugar in your muscles is the same thing as being frantic and being worried about everything around you, fight or flight, never taking a deep breath, diaphragmatic breathing, not being able to tone in and control your core and your glutes and all those major muscles that once you are playing a dynamic game like basketball, you need to be fueling and firing as efficiently as possible. Mm-hmm. So if everything else is in line, then your body can focus on those things. And that's what can help reduce inflammation, improve serotonin and dopamine, mental clarity, get rid of all these different things, man. And I'm glad you experienced it, because I do it on a daily basis and I teach it to people on a daily basis. And it's a process. It's not like you just pick it up. When I do spend time with, like, when I had like you and Panther for what, 2.5, 3 hours, and we just sat there and drilled it, then you guys picked it up real quick. But for some people, especially like older clients, old dogs, harder to teach new tricks. So it's a little more difficult. But I'm glad. I mean, thank you. I mean, just thank you for appreciating that, man.
Hey, and I just want to let people know that's listening. It's like, yo, if you guys really listen to Dylan, if when he teaches this, it's really an experience you'll never forget. Because I just never forget just being in zones during games where, because I did that I didn't feel any, like, it was just literally, just imagine, I literally never forget. It was a game I tied the school record for threes in the single game. But it was a time where I didn't feel nothing then. Like, I didn't feel tired. I was just in a zone where when the buzzer went off, it's like I snapped back to reality.
Like,
but during that time, where the clock was ticking, there was nothing. I didn't feel tired. Like, it's crazy.
Bro, it's really wild, because that's how we're supposed to be. And we've gotten so disconnected from that. And you are someone that is super thoughtful, obviously, now of it. And beyond anything that I did for you, you've taken it and run with it, right? Knowledge is fucking useless if it just sits here. Unless you share it and put it to action, it doesn't do anything for anybody. And you've taken it and ran with it tenfold than I could have ever envisioned or imagined or even anything. And I mean, you have so much going on now too. So let's dive into that, bro. Like, you have your own podcast,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So Q's Health and Wellness Podcast. When did that start?
So that started for me actually when I came home. Actually, when I graduated from college. So I want to say March. No, when I graduated, like May last year. So I came home. My mentor was already into podcasting, but he actually showed me the ropes on how to do it. And he was just telling me, he's like, "You're already into fitness, so why don't you start reaching out through LinkedIn, start reaching to different people on Instagram, talk about fitness. You're already fit, so they would love to come on the show and just talk." And it's ever since then it just took off. So now I started that, and it, like, to me, my biggest thing is just bringing on people like I had you on the show, and like we've talked during our episode. It's just bringing on people that's very honest and upfront, and not gonna lead people down the wrong path that with information that isn't true.
Yeah, valid. You source it through yourself. You sift through the bullshit, right? And then you find the ones that can provide value.
Yes,
And
sir.
likewise, you know what I'm saying? I don't bring anybody on here that's going to just, shoot the shit and bring, confusion, right, to the table for people.
Hey, bro, because if you think about it, there's a whole lot of people out there that's in the fitness industry that don't know what they're talking about and they don't know what they're doing. But
No.
they have all these clients and they have all these people, and these people are listening to them and they're not getting the results and they're frustrated. So that's when somebody like you comes in and play, like, okay, boom, now you're showing them the real ropes. They're like, why did this not work before? Because the people that are showing them it's just crazy how the fitness industry is. You know how it goes, bro.
It's saturated, bro. It's so, and especially down here in South Florida. I mean, it's fitness and nutrition 12 months out of the year. It's every day. You wake up, it's a day to be outside. It's a day to look good. It's a day to go to the beach. So, I mean, it's not even funny. Like, the small little, I would say, 6-mile radius of the gym that I work at, there's I want to say 30 competitors.
Damn.
30, bro. So think about that. In 36 square miles, there's about a gym every square mile. How that matches like LA, downtown LA, and like New York City. And this is just a small little Boca Raton, it's not like it's it's not Miami, you know what I'm saying? It's Boca. It's like a rich, old people place. It's crazy. It really is. It's so saturated. There's so many people doing the wrong things. And it's not that everybody doesn't get results in the now, but it's more so who's thinking about the future and like, how are these people going to feel in 10 months? How are these people going to feel in 10 years? Are they going to live to be, 75? Are they going to hit that age? Or are you going to put them on such a bad ideology of what health is that they run into complications by 65? You know what I'm saying? And like natural medicine and the natural way of life is, once again, tuning back into who we are here, right? Gaining control of the mind and the body. And so many people are just aimlessly throwing their body around, and then in terms of your podcast, you started
Mm-hmm.
about a year ago, right? So when you first started, because I talk about this with people, were you afraid? Were you scared? You had someone that kind of showed you the ropes.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I mean, I've had somebody that showed me the ropes, but it's nothing like doing your first podcast with somebody you have no idea. Like, you never. I mean, I usually have a pre-call with somebody, but it's nothing like going on camera and being live, bro. It's like that feeling of you don't know how it's gonna go, and then you gotta like gauge it because you're the host, so you gotta ask questions, come up with questions. There's so many things that go on behind the scenes that people really just don't know.
yeah, and it creates a sense of comfortability now when you go out into your job or the field, or you want to network at an actual event with people.
Now it's nothing.
Now it's a walk in the park. Yeah. And if there's anything that we should be good at, right? Once again, if we're comfortable here, in control, then the best thing that we do is adapt. We adapt. That's being in control of your nervous system. Your nervous system is trying to survive, and survival is based on what you're taking in from sensory information, based on your five senses, so that you can adapt to what's going on. Adaptation is number one, bro. It's key. So putting ourselves in situations is huge.
It's crazy that I can relate to that. I don't mean to cut you up, but it's crazy that I can relate to that because if you think about my college career, I went to 4 different schools, bro. I went to 4 different schools to play basketball. So every year I had to adapt. Every year there was a new surrounding. I had to get comfortable and being uncomfortable, basically.
The new teammate, the new coaches, the new staff, the new place to learn in classes, and nothing.
Even just to live.
Yeah. Damn.
It was just it was a struggle.
Name them off. Where'd you go?
So I first started off. So some people just don't know. So my first career, I really didn't. I quote unquote redshirted. It was at Post University here in Connecticut. Okay. Then I transferred to Dean College. So that's when I first started playing. That was my first year. Then I went to Central Maine Community College. So I wanted to play 2 years at JUCO. And then I went to University of Maine at Augusta. Then I went to University of Maine at Prescott. So it was literally just going further up north every year.
Getting further and further away from home.
Yes,
which one was your favorite? Besides basketball, like take basketball out of the equation, which was your favorite? I know it wasn't Dean. It couldn't have been Dean.
To be honest, it was Dean, bro. Because being at Dean, being at LaSalle. Where'd you go? LaSalle, right?
Yeah.
Bro, it's just the whole Massachusetts. It's like, especially when you're. I mean, it wasn't too far from home. It's like hour 45, and just being in that atmosphere and being, because I mean, if I wanted to go home, it was just an hour 45-minute ride home.
Quick ride.
But being when I was in Maine, it was like 3 or 4 hours. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. But it's just the overall atmosphere, and that's how I met Panther actually. We ran into each other through a mutual friend from Post. And I came to LaSalle a couple times. It was, man, y'all know how to get down out there.
we definitely partied a little hard at LaSalle. Yeah, especially bro. Yep. Me and
how about you? Did you like your experience at LaSalle?
I did, bro. So I went to Anna Maria, which is closer to Dean.
Yep.
So I went to Anna Maria first in Paxton. And I did my freshman year there. I basically walked onto the team, didn't really, play or anything, but learned a lot, was going to school for something somewhat related to what I wanted to do. But it was just basic health sciences, didn't put me on the path to becoming an athletic trainer. So that's what I realized my goal was. So while working through injuries and stuff on the back end of basketball and being involved with the athletic trainers, I realized that's really what I wanted to go into. So I asked my athletic trainers, what are some schools in the area that I could go to that have the program? They ended up giving me some options. I was rooming with one of my best friends at Anna Maria. He played football, and one of my other best friends from high school was playing baseball at LaSalle. So we all graduated together, and it seemed like an easy fit. I would stay in the conference, so I would get to play Anna Maria. I was still about an hour from home. Like if this was Providence, LaSalle was here and Anna Maria was here. Okay. They're both about the same distance, just different direction. So I ended up transferring there and got into the athletic training program, and I did my 4 years at LaSalle to graduate and finish with that. And it was great, man. I wish there was more diversity at the school. Anna Maria was like way more diverse, and that's what I was used to with high school. And it just opened up opportunity. It was more fun that way for me. And there was definitely a lot of like cliquey high schoolness at LaSalle. But you know, you always find the people that you're going to connect with and be around. So once I found those people, and once, you know, I was playing basketball, I didn't play basketball my first year. I didn't end up making the team because I was once again just trying to walk on. So I ended up started working. Then I started my online business. So, you know, everything started to really transform from there. I started, you know, meeting people that wanted to know where I wanted to be in 5 years, wanted to help me get there. And, you know, it was just, it was a transformational year that I needed. And then from there, bro, LaSalle was perfect because I could just stay in my zone. I was working, I was playing basketball, I was doing athletic training and doing the hours I needed on the back end, basically doing internships for that. And then I was studying all of the, you know, fitness stuff. And then I ended up getting my nutrition master's from there as well online. So it all just, it was a great place for me. I'm glad I transferred. I really am. But
Hey, and something I wanted to mention too is because I know you're very familiar with this, is I want to have you back on my podcast as well, just to talk about the struggles college athletes go through once an injury appears. Like, I don't think people really understand the mental aspect of trying to get over the hump of getting back to the killer that you were, or trying to find yourself once again once you have a major injury in your career.
so right, you have an identity.
Mm-hmm.
If you grow up as an athlete, your identity is that you are an athlete. You go out and you play every day. For ball players, bro, like, you ball every single day. That's what you do. That's what you love. As a kid, like, the people leave the court, you go to the next one and you find other people to play with. You know what I'm saying? It's like you run in fives, you know, in the off season at school, and all of a sudden a bunch of people leave. All right, who wants to play threes? All right, 2 more people leave. All right, let's play twos. And then it's one of you and you're like, all right, shit, let's go 1-on-1. Let's play king of the, you know what I'm saying? So when you lose that identity, it's like, damn, what do I do? Who am I? I go to class. I'm not the person on the court. I'm the person sitting on the bench. You know what I'm saying? All those things play. I would love to come on and talk about that, man. One of my good friends from LaSalle, he was actually my second guest on the podcast, and he's done most of my graphics. He is, shout out to Greg. He might watch this. He made he was in videography. He made an entire video based upon the struggles of college athletes from a concussion standpoint and just overall mental health awareness for college athletes. He actually got featured on Nessun for it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'll send you that link after this. You would probably appreciate that. And we can talk about that when I get back on the podcast with you.
Yes,
that would be dope. It's really is tough. Did you have any major injuries while you were in school?
So to be honest with you, bro, so basically it's crazy that you say this, because my sophomore year of college, I basically tore my calf in the red and white game. No, actually it was the alumni game. So we had the red and white game. I want to say I had like 27-30. The next game it was an alumni game right before the season started, bro. Tore my calf. Then that whole season, basically, I played hurt, basically. I was out, though, so I sat like 13 games, and then I transferred over to UMA. I had a groin injury, but we had no trainers. So the trainer would only be there once a week, and she was only there from a limited time from 12 to 2, and we practiced on a tile floor. So just imagine the kitchen floor that you have in your kitchen. That's what we practice on every day, Monday through Friday. So we had to go through that, bro. So I had that injury, but I think, and then my senior year, I blew up my junior year, and then the senior year, that's when I had my groin injury came back, and then ever since then, bro, it's just trying to, like, I don't feel like I haven't been the same since my groin injury my senior year, because I played through it the whole year I literally taped up. They gave me a brace, and I taped it up my whole senior year. So
But
ever since then, I
it
really haven't
never
been.
it never kept you out of games, really? Or I probably did a couple, but like
Mm-hmm.
you said you played through most of it.
Bro, I played through most of
Yeah.
it. Played through most
So
of it.
yeah, so you just put constant stress. So
Yeah.
that's tough, man. That's tough to bounce back from and get when you it's like just running on a flat tire for, I'm gonna drive to this friend's house, then to this friend's house, then to work. It's like,
And
damn, that's
and it's
tough.
crazy because some days I couldn't even walk back up the stairs to my apartment. But it was just to it was you. So once I feel like once the injuries really made me who I am today because I found out that you could there's a point in time in your life where you could put the pain that's actually going on aside for that moment in time,
Mhm.
just just to get your game to another level. So basically, if you know basketball, right? I couldn't. So my senior year, I couldn't dribble. I couldn't go to the rack. So basically, I had to find a way to score
Yep.
without dribbling. So I had to pay extreme attention to details. So now I said, okay, I can't dribble because I have no explosiveness in my groin. So I literally have to be a strict jump shooter. So whenever I get the ball, I had to literally use defenders' angles, literally use jab steps just to open up. And it was just allowing me to see how much more attention to the game I had to actually pay just to be, or at least try to attempt to be at that same level of greatness that I was. And to me, I just found that it was grateful for me to understand and honestly break down the game the way that I did because I feel like if it wasn't for those injuries, I probably wouldn't have had paid as much detail or even had to get to that mental capacity of knowing how to break down my game or even how to make pain go away for a moment in time.
Mhm. How to work smarter, not harder, right?
Yep.
Like, yeah, when you I mean, it's the same way, like, if you watched any of the game last night, right, with the
Mm-hmm.
Lakers and the Blazers, it's not like LeBron scored all the points, but he was damn well connected to all of them, bro. Like
Yep.
that man just you find efficient ways. Vince Carter is a perfect example of that.
Mm-hmm.
You watch his game evolve from what 89 to like 2019. He played in the league for 40 years, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
um, you see that there was a evolution of how he effectively affected the game,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's I always I was grateful to always kind of be in that situation. Um, I was never bigger, never faster, never stronger than any opponent I ever played or any
Mm-hmm.
person on my team that I ever beat out for a position. I was always just very fundamental, high IQ, and had the ability to know where to be and when to be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm more of that like should turn into a coach player.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
play all right throughout high school and then become a really good coach.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to like be the person doing everything super effectively. I obviously had my peak of my career where I was, very, very effective and efficient and the top guy out there on the floor, but it wasn't it was never because I was just blowing by people and getting to the rack and jumping
Mm-hmm.
over, and it was like boxing out, knowing how to break down a 2-3 zone when nobody else did, and like
Mm-hmm.
basic stuff. But it helped me. It helped me pay attention, be more efficient, mentally cognitive, and aware of the game. So it's funny. It really does make a huge difference when not only do you have to pay attention to that stuff, but you have to live by that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not just like, okay, yeah, like I get it, but I'm gonna still do me. I'm gonna just go to the rack.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, it's like, nope, I got no other choice. I'm gonna just break this dude down with jab steps and ball fakes and like
Mm-hmm.
a step back, a one dribble step back. That's what's up. So no like crazy injuries, but definitely had to fight through. My senior year, I uh, this is funny. It kind of transformed my life. It's funny. You say like putting aside pain. You say realizing that it makes you think about things differently.
Mm-hmm.
So my senior year, um, I think you you were a junior, I was a senior.
Mm-hmm.
So your breakout year was the summer before I went into my, or whatever, we
Yep.
worked out. I was going into my senior year, you were going into
Junior.
your junior year. And I was I was the biggest and strongest I had ever been. Fast. I was performing at levels I hadn't before, had never,
Mm-hmm.
and based on training the way I was. And man, I came into school. I was playing super super well. It was looking that I was gonna be either like the starting shooting guard or the sixth man off the bench. Which the year before I didn't even touch the floor because we had two All-Americans and I just didn't even come close. But I not because we lost them necessarily and everybody, but I just improved as a player and I was there for my fourth year. I was a leader on the team.
Mm-hmm.
The week I was so rigid on everything I was doing, from fitness and nutrition, lifestyle, not going out, not doing nothing. And the first week we found out who made the team, right after tryouts, and that week I'm like, yo, you know what? Let's celebrate. Let's, all the freshmen, all the seniors, let's just go out. Let's, do it the right way as a team, build some culture.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing crazy. Bro, I'm walking to a party, and my roommate and I are kind of just messing around, whatever. And he runs up and like tries to like jump on my shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
And I end up like having like, I'm like basically holding his hips here, and I like lost my step. I stepped on it was like paved, and then there was soil right here. I stepped on the middle of it, felt my foot break right underneath me, bro. So that was rough.
Mm-hmm.
But it was funny because I was like, I was tipsy, I was a little drunk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not that numbed the pain, but I was with mad people, so I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of like put him down, and I was like, nah, no, we're good, bro. We can just keep going. Bro, I got halfway there. I couldn't even put no weight on my foot. I had to have people like helping me out. I had walked for probably another like 5 minutes because
Mm-hmm.
Lascelles like one side or the
Yeah.
other, right? So that was crazy, and we didn't even play a game. We didn't do anything. It was the first week, bro. Broke my foot clean. I ended up going back to my room. I knew I broke it. I'm an athletic trainer. I've been studying that stuff, right? And I had broken my other foot in high school. So I just went to sleep. I went to sleep and I woke up the next morning. People were like, bro, you didn't take any pain meds. Like you didn't smoke. Like you didn't do anything to get rid of the pain. I'm like, no, man, like it's broken. I'm just going to let it do what it's got to do. They're like, bro, it's been broken for like 12 hours. What are you doing? Like, yeah, just take me to the hospital. I'll just get it x-rayed. This is what I got to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that put me on a path of like, all right, clearly, I should pay more attention and be more this, that, and the next. Maybe I shouldn't go out. I stopped drinking. I was no longer playing basketball 2 hours a day. So I was putting my energy into building my business and doing all of this. I came up with Limitless Theory. I started my Limitless Nutrition program. So all these things happened as a result of getting injured. And I never stopped working out. Every day I did upper body workouts. I did abs. I would do my breathing, and I got even more fine-tuned on all of that stuff. So I look back at it, and at the time it sucked. But I look back at it now, and it's like, wow, I would have loved to play my senior year of basketball because I really didn't get to. I didn't play till senior night, which was the second to last game.
Wow.
But all in all, it helped me so many other ways. So you never know what's gonna come about from things like that.
Hey, bro, and the crazy part, I'm gonna share this quick story.
Yeah,
So you know
please.
how I said I blew up my junior year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to say the first 7 games, I literally sat the bench. I literally was telling my roommate that the Thanksgiving, I'm pretty sure we was going for Thanksgiving, or it was Thanksgiving or Christmas break. I said, bro, I'm not even coming back. I literally remember having this conversation with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So see how this plays out, right? So we're in practice. I want to say we come back from break. We're in practice. Make long story short, the senior captain, point guard, he gets into a little fight with a bench warmer. So basically, he body slams the bench warmer. Right, I'm talking about like suplex him, like wrestling move suplex him. Right, he gets suspended for 6 or 7 games, mind you. So I'm like, okay, he gets suspended. Boom. Next thing I know, mind you, I was already shooting. Because now I'm just frustrated. So I'm like, I'm coming back to school. I'm frustrated. So me and my
Yeah.
roommate, we up shooting at 5 a.m. every day, right? Come mind you, I think I start the following game. The game he gets suspended, I start. I had like 17. We played a sucky team. The following game after that, I had 35. Ever since then, it just took off. But the principle that I want people to listen to, that's why I have my clothing brand Forever Be Ready, is
Yes.
because you never know when your opportunities. Who would have thought that my senior point guard would body slam somebody, and that will make me just blow up?
Yeah.
Like, bro, what are the odds of that?
And that's what I'm saying, bro. You never know when opportunity is gonna strike, how it's gonna strike, in what form it's going to come. And like, I wanted to talk to you about that. Was Forever Be Ready, bro? Like, what did that stem strictly from that,
Bro,
or is it, has that always been something you focus on?
to be honest, all right, I'm gonna take it back to even when I was in high school. So I went to like a technical high school. People don't know this. I went to a technical high school.
Mm-hmm.
When in my high school,
In
well,
where?
I went to Vinyl Tech in Middletown, Connecticut, right?
Yeah.
I maybe say I don't even think people like Vinyl Tech is made so people don't even go to college. People
Mm-hmm.
just literally jump right into the workforce.
Yes,
So
technical. Yep.
my senior year, mind you, we had great players go through there. Nobody ever went to college. So my biggest thing was this: if I could get a basketball scholarship to any school, that would even like the odds, like Dylan, the odds of me going from Final Tech to a basketball school for a scholarship for basketball is literally like point zero. You could do the math, like nobody ever do it, right? So the fact that I went and got a scholarship, bro, it's like ever since then I always knew, like I never had the brand Forever Be Ready, like that was never in my head, but it was just always the work ethic and being in the gym and putting in more time than anybody else. Because like I know I love Kobe, so I always will follow his work ethic. So then came, like I said, that it was that year, my junior year, bro. It really from that situation there when he body slammed the kid. I never look at life the same. I never do because when I think about it, like there's like he literally suplexed cuz on the ground and got suspended for 5 to 6 games. And I'll never forget the game that I blew up and had 35. The dude was in the crowd watching. He was like, yo, what are the odds of this happening? So then, but I want people that's listening to understand that if I wasn't in the gym preparing myself, shooting every day, even if my opportunity came, you still have to take moment. You still have to capture that moment because I could have blew it. I could have started and went 0 for 15 really if I really wanted to.
Yeah.
But the fact that you always have to be ready for opportunity, you never know when it's gonna come. Like I've always said, Dylan, it still blows my mind to this day thinking about, damn, he really body slammed the bro for me to get my like,
Now you gotta thank that bench warmer, bro, that got in his head enough for him to do
bro,
that.
exactly my point.
You know what I'm saying? And like, I try to explain that to people, right? Is the perspective that we have to have. And I wish I wore my perspective shirt. I wore my good vibes only shirt.
Or that dream hard.
But um the perspective, right? That like, if that dude decided in that split second not to say that next thing to your starting point guard, if he made that split second decision differently to not say anything, that doesn't happen, then the suplex doesn't happen, then your next following game, the suspension doesn't happen, then your thing doesn't happen, then all of a sudden you don't blow up. And then is Forever Be Ready a clothing brand? You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody understands the ripple effect that we have in this world, bro. And it's a what, 400 trillion to 1 chance that we ended up being humans. Like,
it's crazy.
What?
It's crazy. Like, and I don't mean to cut you off, but just think about it, bro. It's like I literally be sitting in my room thinking like, because I really remember the practice of it happening. because dude was just going at him. So all of a sudden, next thing I know, he's literally picks him up, suplexes him, boom. Dude's out for 5-6 games, and then he's like, "Yeah, Quinn, you starting the next game." So I'm like, okay, boom. So first game I go 15. So then we play the team after that hit 35. Then the team after that had 30. You could look at my stat sheet. There was to a point I literally scored like it was 8-9 games straight. I had like 15 plus points. Like I was just going crazy. But people was like, where the fuck did this come from? I'm like, bro, I don't know.
Yeah, but you do though, because you always said, right? You said you always had that work ethic, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got mad. You said, I ain't going to come back. But you transferred that energy into, I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. and I'm going to get shots up. Where some people would have said, I'm going to stay up till 5 a.m. partying, drinking, and smoking. I had teammates, bro. I would come back from like my girl's room or something, right? And if I had class, or no, sorry, if I had to open the gym 6:30 in the morning, right? I would come back to my room from my girl's room at 5:45 in the morning, and my teammates, bro, would be sitting on my couch still drinking and smoking and doing some other stuff like at 5:45 in the morning, bro.
Nah, I believe it, bro. I believe it.
That's crazy. So like when you say I don't know how it happened, it's because you put your energy into what you want to get out of it, right? So
And some people may not know, bro. I like this. This is the first podcast that I've been on. I've been a guest, so I'm able to like share information. It's like, bro, I've never drank or smoked before a day in my life. So if people may look at that and be like, I don't have nothing against people that drink or smoke. It was just when I was in college and when I was in high school, yes, it might have been temptation, but I always found myself wanting to work on my craft and get better, and or wanting to learn, or just trying to read, or just better my mind. Like I said, I don't have nothing against people. Like some of my best friends drink and smoke all the time. Like I'll be around it,
yeah,
but just because I'm around it doesn't mean I have to partake in it. And I don't think a lot of people have that willpower to be able. Like a lot of people, they give into temptation, or they do it to be cool. But to me, I just never found like I had to. Like I literally the other day I went out with my coworkers. Everybody was drinking, bro. I was taking shots of water. I was taking shots of water.
like yo, give me another one, bro.
Word is bond.
Bartender, like yo, we're gonna have to cut you off, bro. No, it's just getting crazy. No, that's what's up. So I'll share mine, right? I didn't drink or smoke until I made my first college basketball team.
Hey, but that's an accomplishment though.
So it's like I graduated high school. I could have drank then, you know. I mean, it's all sorts of stupid stuff. But so I would have parties at my crib in high school. Like my whole junior and senior year, I would stay home on the weekends. My parents were pretty much out most of the weekend. We had a campsite, so especially like that first quarter and fourth quarter of the year, I would throw parties, and I'd probably have like 2 a month, honestly. I would have alcohol. I would have, people there would be smoking, doing all that stuff. I hosted the party, never partook anything. So there's, once again, proof right there. And people all the time, bro, dude, have some, bro. It's just one sip, bro. It ain't gonna, come on, like,
Yep.
and it ain't gonna do nothing, bro. It's just one sip. It's like, you don't have to. You don't, it's not necessary. People, nah, but I have to, right? I need to. I gotta go home and have a drink on a Friday night. Like they trap themselves with their words, right? And then I ended up making the basketball team my freshman year at Anna Maria. I ended up drinking that very night. It's not like I got like messed up. And then I ended up smoking like the second quarter. The second semester. It was after basketball season. Things were slowing down. I think I had just gotten out of a relationship, which is a plug for our next topic with you. And I was like, yeah, whatever, fuck it, I'm gonna get high, whatever. And then the whole thing with my foot, this is where it kind of comes full circle, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the way through that period, that 5-year period that I was in school, that became very regular. The year that I didn't make basketball team, I did a lot of drinking, bro. I did a lot of drinking and a lot of smoking. Still got good grades and was still moving my, my mental capacity in the right direction, but I definitely partied a lot. And had some good things and some bad things come out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward my senior year, I break my foot. I'm pretty sure like that might have been I probably drank like once or twice, but going into 2018, so that that new year, so starting second semester, I was going to be graduating in May. I was coming up with the whole idea of limitless theory and all of that stuff. I was trying to rehab my foot. I knew drinking and smoking, doing all that was not good for my foot, right? Eating crappy food. So I was trying to be as on top of it as possible. And I didn't take a single sip of alcohol all of 2018. So I think I had like a drink or two on New Year's Eve. 12 o'clock hit. I was like, no, we're done. So I didn't touch a sip of alcohol until the after New Year's had hit the 2019 or whatever.
Oh wow.
And people were like, even people like, dude, 5 minutes before New Year's, they're like, bro, come on. I'm like, nah, I'll wait 5 minutes. It's like, I set my mind to something. If you set your mind to something, you can absolutely achieve it. You can absolutely do it.
Bro, I think people underestimate the actual power of resisting something when everybody else is around you is doing it. Like, I don't think people really understand how hard that is. And the fact that you did it for a whole year, but you started, then you stopped, and then did it, it's like, I commend you for that. I do.
Bro, it's the same thing that I do with fasting now, right? It's like you're sitting, the first time I fasted, I went and sat in a food court.
Mm-hmm.
I went and sat in a food court. Bro, water only. I went and sat in a food court and watched people around me eat. When you say, I don't think people understand and realize the power of saying no, and the power of saying, like, I'm going to do this, and actually keeping a promise that you said to yourself. Game changer. Absolutely life-changing. When you hold promises to yourself, you have a whole new level of respect. You respect yourself. You walk taller. You have more confidence. You literally improve the hormones running through your system, serotonin, dopamine, all these things. It really is. It's a high. It's a natural high. It's the same way when you finish a badass workout, right?
You feel good about yourself.
Well, hell yeah. You like you walking down the street, like, I just got out the shower. What's good?
You know exactly how I go, bro.
It's crazy. And that's right. That's a seamless plug into having confidence, knowing who you are, loving yourself first, respecting who you are inside and out, and crafting yourself inside and out, and how that allows you to be a whole person. And once you're a whole person, now you can go find somebody else, right? So let me hear about Q's dating blueprint. I got to hear about this. And how did that come to be?
So basically, right? So I want to say it was during quarantine, actually. So like the first couple weeks of quarantine, because I had clients that I was working out, and most of them are male, and they were coming to me to ask me about like different advice on how to go about women and how to, it's different situations, whatnot. And it dawned on me that a lot of people are in relationships or they want in relationships, but they don't actually know who they are first as a person. So when they go into these relationships, they're trying to search for something in somebody else instead of coming together with themselves first and finding out who they are, then bringing that and complimenting another person. So to me, it was just breaking down everything from what a woman wants and what a guy wants, and just literally putting it onto a book, into a manual, to help people understand the basically like the dating game nowadays. Because a lot of people, like I said, you got Tinder. Everybody can swipe right or left on a phone, but when you got that person that you swipe right and left on in person, then what?
Yeah. When that person's in front of you, what do you do?
Yeah, a lot of people freeze up. Like I know guys literally they'll go on dates and be like, Quinn, I froze up. Like I didn't know what to do because they're so used to having game on the phone, but when it comes to in person, they don't know how to carry that same charisma, that same swagger that they have, or that even that same confidence.
Yeah. That's funny, bro. I feel like I'm a old school person. I feel like I'm better off. I've never downloaded a single fucking dating app, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm better off in person than I am trying to. I could give two shits about talking to somebody through this thing, bro.
Hey, I feel the same way, but at the same time, bro, you gotta understand there's a lot of people out here that have never actually met real, like, don't get me wrong. Okay, Dylan, me and you played basketball. We've been to college. We know what it's like to walk in a room and have women want us. Some guys have never had that feeling in their life before. So they sit behind a phone all day and they play video games all day, but they don't know what real life feel like. They don't know how to go up to a woman and actually ask her for a number. Or if they go up to a girl, they're stuttering and they're sweating, and they don't know how to actually embrace themselves. And because, like I tell people all the time, not every woman is going to think that I'm attractive, but I'm not about to be going to a hole if she tells me no. I'm gonna say okay and keep it pushing.
Yeah, keep it going, bro. So I was listening to a podcast today, and this is business related, but it's the power of hearing no. Just like we were talking about the power of saying no. Robert Kiyosaki, right? Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I'm sure you've heard of that book and him.
Yep.
So he was talking on a podcast with Tom Bilyeu, Impact Theory, and he was basically saying that he had a poor dad and a rich dad, right? And one of them was telling him that he shouldn't be an entrepreneur because it's stupid and there's no security. Other dad was telling him that he should be, but he's not a good one, and he won't be until he learns how to be a good salesman. And the key to being a good salesman is hearing no, and getting told no and failing and repetitively doing that. So he said he was wasn't a car salesman, it was something else. And he was terrible. He wasn't selling anything, right? He was like, I am basically only calling like 3 people a day. And his rich dad said, all right, we'll find another way after work to hear no more. So he went to work for a nonprofit after he got off his regular 9 to 5, and he would go door to door and he would ask people things. And he said, I wouldn't go home until I heard 35 no's. Once I heard 35 no's, I would go home. So he said, I might have had 10 yeses, but until I heard 35 no's, I wouldn't go home. Some days I would go 35 and 0. You know what I'm saying? I would just hear no every time. Some days I would get 10, 12, whatever yeses, and then, a total of 47 people I had to go through. He said all of a sudden, after 3 months of doing that, my 9 to 5 job, it became one of the best salesmen in the area and in that region. He was like, the same thing applies for business and for anything. And now you can see that this is the same thing, right? Asking and being upfront and real about it will just make you more confident walking into the next one. Your first podcast, you were like probably sweating and stuttering and like trying to blah, blah, blah. right? Now it's like, whatever, I don't care. I'm gonna just be me. I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna be real.
Mm-hmm.
And now it comes,
It
it
flows
comes
out.
flawless. Yeah, it just flows.
Mm-hmm.
To the, I'm sure you can, tie that back into how that probably relates to the whole dating scene and game.
Hey, it's like this now. So, I like I take everything into perspective. So when I'm out, like say I'm out dating multiple women, whatever, point blank period. If I'm out, say I'm out with my dogs or something, and one of them wanna go talk to somebody, I'm often the one that goes up to him and just breaks the ice, and then I just let them talk to him, whatever. But I look at it like this: some guys are literally like they're. It's not specifically that women say no, but it's the fact of, like you said, them, it's the word no, or them saying, or them getting told no is what hurts their confidence. And that's what a lot of guys don't understand. That, I mean, a lot of women can say no for numerous reasons. One, they may have a man. Two, they may just be out with their girls, just having a girls night, so they was just going out. Or
Think
three,
about
like,
it.
you just never know.
Crazy.
So yeah, so that's why I try to tell guys that's dealing with this, because a lot of guys, they struggle with it, but they don't have anybody that can help them through that process. So that's why I came up with the book, because the first chapter in my book is the importance of knowing yourself and knowing who you are. Because if you don't know who you are, there's no point you even trying to find somebody even to talk to. Because it's like, why would you waste your time?
That's facts. If you don't know what you want, then how are you gonna conduct a conversation in any sort of way?
Bro, and it's that, and I've always said, people look at relationships. I always look at relationships like, I always want my whoever my partner is to compliment me. I don't want her to bring me down, but I don't want her to bring me to another level. I want her just to meet here, and we could just ride the wave. And a lot of people don't understand that. They can't understand it until they know who they truly are, because if they never know, they'll try to look for happiness in places they'll never find it.
True, bro. Preaching everything, man. Shit.
I'm trying to tell you that, but it's crazy because you think of people our age that's like, people. I'm sure you know people that are at home that are dealing with cool, but they may share information with you. They dealing with relationship issues, but at the end of the day, they may not. Deep down inside that they. I know people just like this. They look for people. Well, basically, they look for women or men for their happiness. So basically, they depend on them. So when they leave, they're miserable again.
True. And it's funny. I mean, I'm recently just out of a relationship, right? So
Hmm.
like, it's um, it's interesting. Um, I've pretty much, I really haven't. I probably haven't dated in like, I don't even know, like 2 3 years probably.
But you
Um,
comfortable right now though.
yeah, I mean, I have been like that for even before I was in that relationship. I really wasn't even. It was just like I said, like I'm not stressing to
Hmm.
find anybody through here or for someone to complete me or to, I don't need any of that because I feel like I'm still trying to guide myself down a path where I feel comfortable every day. I feel complete every day. I feel like I am able to know where I'm at and then also put my efforts into helping somebody else and guiding and being there for somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
But all right, so let me ask you this, Dylan. So with this process that you're talking about, did you find that you had to take some time out to actually get to know who you are as a person before you even started dating, or even was looking for another girl to have you in your company?
So before my relationship, right, that the one that just kind of came to an end, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, was the entire process of me breaking my foot and going through the most focused I've ever been in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I can honestly say that I was the most in tune I had ever been in with myself ever before I got into that relationship,
Mm-hmm.
without a doubt. And now, um, trying to, I realized that maybe I wasn't everything that I should have been,
Mhm.
everything as complete or whole as I could have been, right? There's still more room for me to improve. So that's what I'm doing right now. So once again, I'm not stressing that part. If it happens,
But
it happens. If it comes, it comes. If it goes, it goes. It's like um some people just aren't even comfortable sitting in a room by themselves
mm,
for 30 minutes. Like they get, if they don't
like
have stimulation from a video game or a phone or a TV or Netflix or a computer, like they literally lose their shit. They can't sit with their own thoughts.
and it's crazy then because this we're gonna bring it back around to even you breaking your foot, right? When you broke your foot, the only person who was there for you in those dark times when nobody 3 a.m. when you couldn't sleep, you were just caught up in your mind, was yourself.
Yeah.
That's it. You couldn't rely on nobody else. But people are not there. Like I feel like you have to go through something to get you to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Like me personally, I had to go through my senior year of bro. I was depressed. Don't get me wrong. I was literally depressed. It was to a point like I didn't even want to play back. I didn't even want to go outside and go to class because people. I know people looked at me. I had people call me a catfish when I got to from my junior to my senior year. People was calling me a catfish from because they was like, "Oh, this is not the same Quinn we saw at UMA." But it's just me mentally. I had to be wholesome with myself. If I wasn't, I would have never been happy. And I
You
would
would
have
have
brought
never
all those
gotten out of
frustrations to relationships, the
yeah.
people, my family. I would have brought all those frustrations if I wasn't wholesome with myself.
Yeah, you would have never gotten out of that point and climbed back up that mountain because
Hmm.
nobody's pushing you up the mountain, bro.
Nah.
Nah. If anything, bro, you're pushing everything you have going on in your life up the mountain with you,
You're
right?
not
If
lying.
anything, nobody is back behind you pushing you. I mean, that's where like, being a health professional or being someone who writes a dating blueprint, that's what we're trying to do and aim to help people with. But in the end, like you said, bro, when they're laying there in bed at 3 a.m., who's there? It's
Bro,
you,
and
you
it's
yourself.
crazy. It's
Mm,
crazy to think about because you would think, don't get me wrong, I've always thought about, I said, I would like somebody that would be there for me. But the one thing I've always realized, like, people will only care as much as you benefit them. So if they're benefiting from you, they'll care. Once them benefits stop, they're nowhere to be found. That's
yeah.
one thing I've realized early in my life, and now that I'm becoming more successful, I'm realizing that people really don't give a fuck. They really don't. So if you don't believe in yourself, then nobody gonna believe in you.
Mhm. Shit.
Am I
Shit.
am I lying?
I don't even know what else to say. Nah, bro, and you really once you understand those concepts, right? And I feel so lucky to have realized those a couple years ago, and to start my brand when that whole foot thing happened was that it. Uh, you know what else? You've probably have you seen the movie Limitless, right?
Nah, I haven't seen it.
The TV show, no?
Nah, I gotta check it out.
All right, so you're probably not a huge TV guy, but I need you to watch. I need you to watch that.
All right.
Um, it's a modern day ideology to the Matrix, right?
Mm-hmm.
You take a pill, and all of a sudden you pretty much become like 100% aware of everything going on around you. You become the
Mm-hmm.
most efficient human being that you can be. So when I think of everything we were just talking about, I think of that as efficiency, right? You're not dependent on anybody else. You are capable of handling multiple things at once. You are capable of adapting to anything and everything thrown at you because that's all life is. It's just juggling issues and problems and priorities and trying to figure out what needs to be taken care of when and balancing it all out. And then you if you watch the movie, you'll start to understand how I came up with some of my branding and some of the concepts behind like we have so much more in here than we are in tune with, and that understanding of mental toughness, building discipline, building a whole self and identity based on eating well, being in tune with your breath, working out, knowing what you need and don't need out of a relationship, a partner, and all of these different things, who you are, how you can be helpful to people, what your strengths and weaknesses are. It just comes down to, like, once you are in tune with all of that, and once you start to, it's not that you're always going to be in tune with all of it, but once you start to prioritize learning and paying attention to those things in your own life, I always say creating you instead of consuming others, right?
Mm-hmm.
Create more than you consume, where you don't, you're not consuming alcohol to get rid of your problems, right? You're not consuming Netflix on a daily basis, right? To not think about work, and to not think about doing other things in your house that could be done better. Like, all these different things, create instead of consume. Once you start to act like yourself is a priority daily on a improvement, daily basis, trying to improve, the opportunities in relationships, in business, in financial improvement, in the improvement of your overall health, whether it's physical, mental, or soul, it's all limitless, bro. Like, there's nothing that can stop it.
Hey,
Every day.
and I ain't gonna lie, bro. We might have to have a part two because there's so much things I want to talk about. But I don't mean to keep you. But I just
No.
want to say this, right? You know you have your own brand. You're running the gyms, right? I want the people that's listening to understand this, right? You have to be selfish with your time,
Mm.
because if you're not selfish, you will drive yourself crazy trying to make everybody else happy. I couldn't tell you how many times there's been that I've been in situations where people thought that, oh, I was being too selfish. But if I'm not selfish, then what am I going to get done? Like think about it. If with your brand, if you weren't selfish with the time, and don't get me wrong, you probably have friends that you want to hang out with, but besides that, if you weren't selfish with your time, bro, would you have really got it done?
No, absolutely not. Like, even on Sunday, I had my sister and had some people hanging out at the pool. I had to come inside and take care of some stuff with my podcast and with my website, right? And I spent 2 hours in here, and, like, it's not like I didn't enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? It was something. It's something that I like. It's something that I enjoy. But it is, yeah, you have to be, someone was like, bro, you gonna come out? I was like, yeah, I'll be there. Like, I'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You do have to be selfish. And that's, goes back to your point of, like, people really don't care unless it's benefiting them. And there's different levels to that, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's the everyday person who's, like, disrespectful as hell, and, like, if they're not getting financial gain or, like, something out of it, then, you know they're not going to do it. They're not going to pay any mind. They're going to cause problems and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's, the idea of saying, once again, saying no to something because your priorities are in the right place.
Hey,
um
and one more thing I wanted to mention as well. Being an entrepreneur, bro, and having your own brand, having your own business, like I know, there's been so many times where you might get called cocky or arrogant, but it's like, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else is. Like, that's one thing I've learned to accept. I've learned to accept people call me cocky and arrogant. I'd be like, yes, I am. Because if I'm not, who's gonna promote me like I'm promoting myself? I don't have the money to go on a sponsorship or to have the money to go pay somebody to be on TV. So if I'm not going to do it, I don't see nobody else going out wearing my shirts or represent or show my books. I don't have nobody else doing that. So it's like people get uncomfortable being called cocky or selfish, but when you're an entrepreneur, do you have to live this lifestyle? You
mm,
have to be comfortable.
yeah, you really do. I always say, there's no highs and lows. You can't live on the high of someone telling you you're great and you do good, and you can't live on the low of someone saying you're cocky, you're an asshole, you're stupid, you're wasting your time. It's in one ear, out the other, bro. It's like I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm gonna spend my time how I want to spend my time. I'm gonna rep what I want to rep, and I'm gonna focus on what I want to focus on. Good energy always wins. Good vibes only. It's all. You know, some people, once again, they're more worried about consuming and breaking down others as opposed to creating their own. Right? It's easier.
It's crazy, and you think about your friend group. Who would have thought out of all your friends that you would be? I mean, I'm sure you are one of the most successful out of your friend group, but it's just during that time, you know, like I know, if you, like I said, very back to my main point, if you're not benefiting other people, there, you see, it's been the point. Then I literally had to cut people off in order to get up here, because if not, I'm gonna be at the same point where I was always was.
That's why I moved, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I moved. I moved down to South Florida to get away. Not that I didn't have good friends there, but I realized if I could just put myself in a place where I had to adapt, it would take me to a whole nother level. And it has. I had to build a lot down here. And I'm still, it's funny, bro. I was saying this the other day. I had a 3-year plan when I moved down here. I've been here for 2 years. I feel like I'm just getting started.
You know, it's crazy. It's crazy that you said it, because I remember when we first met, when we were leaving the workout. He was like, because I think Panther asked you, he was like, "How do you feel about leaving?" He was like, "Bro, I'm gonna miss my family. I'm gonna miss my friends, but I really have a vision." And everything that you're doing, bro, over the past 3 years since I've last seen you, I've only seen you elevate. So I really commend you in everything you've been doing.
Thank you, bro. I can't show my gratitude enough for that, bro. That means a lot. And it's funny, because the last thing I want to say, bro, is, uh, right? If I didn't feel like I was gonna benefit from this conversation, I wouldn't hit you up.
Now you're right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, these conversations are everything, bro. Like, I'm sure you absolutely love having these conversations on your podcast, and just realizing that, like, nobody has conversations like this no more.
Bro, nobody does, because it's like, to me, bro, it's hard because I don't really trust people like that. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't really trust people because I don't know their true intentions. And nowadays, you just never know. But when you have the right vibe and connection with somebody, and even first, based off our initial connection when we first met, bro, when you was literally, you didn't have to share all the information you did when we was working out, but the fact that you shared that with me, and the fact that you was able and I was able to trust you at that point in time, and it benefited from me, I was like, man, Dylan, my boy, till the grave, man.
Whatever,
Real shit.
Nah, I totally agree, bro. Everything I've seen you do, uh, it's been funny, watching you take your course over the time. I'm sure the same way you feel about me, right? And watching what I've done, moving and doing, getting into the gyms and the fitness and my own brand and the podcast. Watching you start the podcast, then the dating, then the clothing brand, like. It's funny, bro. It's crazy. And I'm sure we each play a small part in fueling that fire and pushing
Yes,
each
sir.
other back and forth. And
It's straight motivation, bro. Because like I said, every day I see your post, I'm like, man, I got like when I asked you, I said, "What time are you waking up?" And you said 5 a.m. And I said, "Shit, I got to get back on my 5 a.m." So honestly, right now, I literally been getting up 5 a.m. ever since I asked you that. Because I've been slacking, because I said I've been working so much. But ever since I asked you, I've been waking up 5 and doing my breathing, doing my workout, and getting it in. But it's just little things like that, but that people really don't understand, that when you connect with somebody and they're on the same mission you have, or they have the same ambition and drive, it's just every time you talk to them, you learn something new.
dead ass, bro. And you continue to push each other to different levels of just human life, human capacity, human living, and like we're only driving more and more in that direction. And I'm excited, bro. Like, imagine our 10-year recap from, you know
Right?
what I'm saying? Like 2 years, And one or both of those years was like college. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Literally, I think about that, bro. Last time I seen you, literally, it was my junior. I think it was junior going to senior year, and then it was my senior year. Yeah, so this like basically this is, yeah, it's been 2, 3 years,
yeah,
and look how much we've grown.
bro. In 10 years, we're both gonna have companies and brands. And fucking,
It's crazy.
it's wild, bro. Like, if you had told me last year some of the shit that I'm doing this year, I'd have told you were batshit crazy, bro.
Bro, if I would have told you last year that I was gonna write a book and in 3 months, no, not even 3 months, 2 months, and publish it during quarantine, you
During the
would be like,
pandemic,
motherfucker, you crazy.
man, nothing but good vibes, bro. I got one last question for you.
Yes, sir.
um, well, I'll premise the final question with this question. Are you more of a podcast or a book person?
Shit, that's a good question. Cause, well, let's put it like this: if I could get the book on a podcast or like an audio, I would do it.
Okay. All right. So then you can throw either one. You can throw either one out. A blend of your favorite podcasts and books. Top 5 podcasts and books. So you could pick, one podcast that, has a bunch of different episodes and people and this, that, and the next, and 4 books, or vice versa, 4 podcasts, 1 book.
All right, I think I'm gonna go with the Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Word.
40 Laws of Power by Robert Greene.
Yeah, I've heard of that one. I haven't read it.
The Law of Seduction by, I believe that's what it's called, by Robert Greene. And then
The Lost.
the Law of Seduction, I'm pretty sure.
The Law of
Yeah.
Seduction.
I think 3. What am I? 3 or 4?
3.
The Hustler's Ambition by 50 Cent.
Word. Okay.
And then number 5.
Fun fact, bro. I was in this like National Little League Baseball book when I was 7 years old, and it asked like favorite food, favorite TV show, favorite music artist. Bro, it was like favorite food was like SpaghettiOs. Favorite show was Rocket Power, and favorite music artist was 50 Cent.
Hey, I'm telling you, 50 that dude.
I was 7, bro. I don't even think I was 4 feet tall.
How about you? What's your top 5?
So I'll go books first. Okay. The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. Then you have what is it? It's right here. Why can't I think of the name of it? I can. What the hell? Where'd it go? Mindset. Mindset is a really good one. And then podcasts, we'll go Joe Rogan, Impact Theory with Tom Bilyeu, and The Daily V with Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary V.
Gary V's that dude, bro.
Yeah. So those are 2 of my favorite books, and then I listen to those 3 podcasts. Joe Rogan, not as much lately. I haven't had as much time, and he has really long podcasts. And then 6 and 7 are Q's Health Podcast and the LT360 podcast.
Bro, you already know, bro. You already know. Hey, and I appreciate you coming on the show. Like I said, I definitely want to have you on for a part 2 because, bro, I'm really thinking about writing a book of the psychological things that we go through as athletes that a lot of people really have no idea. Like, people just think it's just we go on the court, play, and it's over. But that may be the case for some people that's really not dedicated to the game. But when you have those people that's literally all you did growing up was play basketball, but then you can't do that one thing that is your safe haven, bro. It's like the mind, like
The
this is
mind, yeah,
crazy.
bro. The mind games are crazy. Yo, it's simple. Like since quarantine, playing 5-on-5, like people don't understand that you can like it's especially down here in South Florida. I don't have like if I was back home in Rhode Island,
Hmm.
I would have like my boys from high school that I would
Yeah,
go play basketball with. But I'm not just gonna go play ball with like random people here. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? I don't know enough people. I know people scattered around, but I
hmm,
don't know enough people to just like a childhood group of friends to go play basketball. I don't have that. So I've literally played basketball once. It was 3-on-3, and I've shot around once in 5 months, bro.
bro. But isn't it crazy? Isn't it? Hasn't your mind just been going insane?
Bro,
Like,
I drove by a court the other day and I stopped because the courts near my house you can't even shoot on, bro, outside.
bro, they took the rims down at the ones in Meriden. Bro, I literally, you know, it's bad when I literally buy a basketball hoop for $500 just to have it in front of my hoop just to shoot.
I wish, bro. I live in a condo. I can't even do that shit. Um, so I drove by a court the other day in Boca, up near where I work. They
Hmm.
didn't take the hoops down there. So I just, bro, I hopped out of my car. I still keep my ball. I still have 2 basketballs in my trunk at all times. I got a fucking gym and 2 basketballs in my trunk. Literally, like any piece of fitness equipment you need, and my 2 basketballs. So I hopped out, and I was like, bet I'm gonna just shoot around, bro. I shot around for like 5 minutes. I was on high. Like I was on a fucking drug for the next like 3 hours. I just felt so good to just
Yo,
shoot around. Like
people don't
just
understand.
feeling that. I was like, oh,
Yeah, bro,
bro.
people don't understand. Like I said, when you've done that for your whole life, it'd be one thing if you could do that for your whole life and not and like and when injuries don't happen and everything is good, but when injuries happen and that happen and you cannot go play, but you're watching everybody else play and you're just sitting there like, yo, what is going on? Like it takes a whole toll on your mental health that I don't think really people have no idea.
Yeah, they're not tuned into it for sure. I'm excited, bro. What we can do this whenever. We'll chat after we get off of this. I'll send
Yes,
you
sir.
that video on that my boy did
Hmm.
for that whole Nesson thing. Because a few of my teammates were on there too.
Hmm.
So I'm down, bro. I am so down. We'll get in on
Hey, I love to have you on the show, bro. Just let me know.
round two.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you hopping on here, taking your time. I hope you didn't waste your time and you got something out of it.
Hey, always, bro. You know how I go.
And same here, bro. Right back at you. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you as well.
In contact and keep chatting. Tell everybody where they can go follow you real quick.
So my Instagram is Quinn Mitchell II. And that's all I'll really be on. Or I have my website and it's QuinnMitchellII.com. So you can follow me there as well.
Bam. Easy, simple, branded. The
Yes,
whole
sir.
cool. All right, man. It was
Appreciate
great
you, bro.
talking to you. Until next time, bro. As always, be limitless. If you are listening, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all of that good junk. All right.
Yes, sir.
Peace out. Limitless Fitness family, this one is for you. If you are a weekend warrior, a fitness enthusiast, a fitness professional, or an athlete, young or old, it does not matter. If you are trying to get fit or stay fit or improve your fitness levels, head over to ck1bands.com and grab yourself a pair or set or single band, because a resistance band is one of the most efficient pieces of fitness equipment that you can use anytime, anywhere, any place, and you can bring with you almost anywhere you travel. So head over to ck1bands.com and use the code LIMITLESS, all capitalized, for a special discount at checkout. Please go support Chris, everything he's doing. Chris Capon was a high school teammate of mine, a lifelong friend, and the first guest on the LT360 podcast. He is the creator and founder of CK1 Sports. If you have not listened to that podcast, I highly suggest you go do that. And after you do, or while you are listening or watching it, head over to ck1bands.com and grab yourself some bands. I use these things every day with my clients, and they never disappoint. Shout out to all my fellow athletes and health enthusiasts out there. Did you know that your typical average pill or capsule-based vitamin or supplement takes anywhere from 48 to 72 hours to actually be broken down in your stomach and begin to get digested? And upon digestion, about 70% of what is on the label is going to be utilized by the body. So stop wasting your time and money on basic everyday vitamins. It's time that you start to understand the science behind it, and it's time that I introduce you guys to Isotonics. Isotonics brings to you the world's most advanced nutraceuticals. They are taking science to a whole nother level when it comes to vitamins and supplementation. A true holistic approach. Iso means same and tonic means pressure. So these isotonic vitamins, which are powders that you mix with water, are going to be recognized by the body as blood, sweat, or tears. And when you digest them, they get bypassed through the stomach straight into the small intestine, so absorption can begin in less than 5 minutes. On an empty stomach, 90% of what is on the nutrition label can be absorbed in just under 30 minutes. It's something that is unprecedented and unmatched in the industry. You cannot feel the difference with vitamins like you can feel the difference with isotonics. So the delivery matters. And to give you guys proof, I want you to be able to check out and learn for yourself and experience it yourself. Feel that isotonics difference. So head over to shop.com or isotonics.com/limitless theory and check out all of the amazing isotonics vitamins and supplements that you can get your hands on, and get 10% off your first order using code 10OFFMA, 10OFFMA, all capitalized, at checkout for 10% off. And just know, when you start to buy isotonics on a regular basis, not only will you get 10% off your first order and additional orders in the future, you will also get 2% cash back on anything you spend, and if you put it on auto ship, you can save an additional 5% on every order. The opportunities are endless, and the difference is felt. So make sure to go get yourself some isotonics and start to feel the difference for yourself. What's up, Limitless Theory Tribe? Hope you enjoyed the episode. I wanted to take a second to give you an opportunity to save 10% off on anything in the Limitless Theory apparel store. Everything from beach towels to coffee mugs, t-shirts, sweatshirts, and tank tops, and much, much more. New styles rolling out all the time. Use code LT10 at checkout for 10% off. LT10 at checkout, all capitalized, for 10% off anything Limitless Theory apparel related. And all you have to do is take a picture and tag us so that you can get 10% off again next time. Peace. D Foss here. If you're anything like me, you love free 99. That's why I want you to head over to thelimitlesstheory.com/free. I dedicated this portion of my website to specifically give you free tips, tricks, resources to check out and use for free and also give you an opportunity to support other small local business owners like myself who have often already been on my podcast and you may already know. So head over to thelimitlesstheory.com/free to see what free 99 can do for you.